There's an invisible mechanism that activates when you're about to win, and it knocks you out. I won't tell you its name right now. First, I'll prove to you that you can deactivate it in real time. Do this with me. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Now, instead of thinking about everything that could go wrong, feel the emotion of relief, just relief, as if your biggest problem has just been solved. Feel your shoulders relax. Feel the tension leave your body. There you go. You've just shifted your frequency. The universe doesn't respond to your effort, it responds to it. This is the first surrender. Victory isn't achieved, it's attuned. Now, I'll show you why this frequency always drops when you're close to victory. Later, I'll give you the key to shielding this energy from any negativity. And once your field is protected, I'll reveal Thoth's final secret, the insight that only 1% of people achieve, and that materializes the victory that is already yours. Stay with me, because without the complete sequence, your mind will sabotage the process and pull you back into the fight. If you feel like you're at your limit, but something tells you not to give up, comment below, "I'm ready to win." Let's begin. This force has a familiar voice. It's the anxiety that arises with good news, the whisper of "it's too good to be true" when something goes right. It's not an external enemy, but an internal shadow programmed for self-preservation. It sabotages victory not out of malice, but because it has grown accustomed to struggle and fears the peace of success, trying to keep you in familiar, safe territory. It's like the man who digs for months and gives up a meter away from diamonds. Giving up doesn't come from a lack of effort, but from the unbearable pressure of staying close. This is self-sabotage, a psychological barrier that builds itself to protect us from the supposed danger that success represents. It's a defense mechanism against the unknown, even if the unknown is your greatest victory. Your subconscious hates change, preferring the familiar pain of frustration to the pleasure of a new reality. To it, the old pattern, even if painful, is safe and predictable. Success is a threat, uncharted territory. Therefore, it triggers all the alarms, fear, guilt, anxiety, as a desperate attempt to force you to retreat to the safety of your old identity. This force operates by planting imposter syndrome and creating failure scenarios in your mind. It uses your past failures as proof that you're not capable, undermining your confidence at the most crucial moment. It's a system perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are, stuck in a cycle of repetition. The fatal mistake is believing this voice is yours, when in fact it's just an echo. The most dangerous thing is that we confuse this fear programming with our own intuition. We believe we're being realistic when, in fact, we're just obeying an ancient program of limitation. Recognizing that this voice isn't you is the crucial step toward freedom. This force has a symbolic name, and its ancient origins speak not of an external evil, but of an internal process of division. The word devil has been misunderstood. Its origin, from the Greek diabolos, means one who divides. It is not an external being, but a principle operating within you, the force of fragmentation. It is the illusion that you are separated from yourself and the source of life. This internal conflict is the true root of all self-sabotage and suffering. This division manifests itself in your life as an internal war. You desire prosperity, but spend impulsively. You seek health, but sabotage yourself with bad habits. It's your light, yearning for expansion, fighting against your shadow, clinging to the security of the familiar. This battle between what your soul desires and what your programmed mind believes is what keeps you trapped. This internal fracture is the true adversary. You live with one part rowing north and the other south, which prevents you from achieving peace. The battle of life is not against an external enemy, but a journey to reunite these parts. The goal is not to defeat the shadow, but to integrate it, teaching the mind to serve the heart's greater purpose. This silent civil war creates a constant leak of vital energy, which is why you feel exhausted for no reason. You push yourself, but your strength escapes through the holes of doubt and fear generated by this division. True victory comes not from more effort, but from healing this internal fracture and stemming this leak of personal power, becoming whole again. Fortunately, there is an ancient path to transforming this division into unity. It's a map for integration, a journey back to the center of your being. This process doesn't seek to eliminate duality, but to balance the opposing forces within you, using both as a source of power. This journey has a specific name in depth psychology, and understanding this map is the next step toward your freedom. This path to reuniting our divided selves was brilliantly mapped out by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, who called it the process of individuation. It's not about becoming individualistic or selfish, but the exact opposite. It's the journey to becoming an individual, in the original sense of the word, indivisible. It's the process of becoming who you truly are in your entirety, a whole, complete, and unified being, where the conscious mind and the vast world of the unconscious finally dialogue and work together in harmony. The central goal of individuation is not to eliminate the shadow, that part of ourselves that we repress and deny. Jung taught that this would be not only impossible, but disastrous. The shadow, despite containing our fears and traumas, also holds an immense life force, our rawest creativity, and hidden talents that have been rejected by our upbringing or society. Trying to destroy the shadow is like trying to live without the night. You lose half of your existence and your power. The key is to bring the shadow into the light of consciousness. When you recognize and accept your shadow, something magical happens. It stops being a self-sabotaging force operating behind your back and becomes a powerful ally. Repressed anger can become a force for establishing healthy boundaries. Fear can transform into prudence and foresight. Sadness can become a source of deep empathy and human connection. Integrating the shadow is like finding a treasure in your own basement, a treasure that has always been there, waiting to be discovered. This journey, however, is no walk in the park. It requires courage to confront uncomfortable truths about oneself, to admit one's flaws, one's jealousies, one's resentments. It's a process of stripping away the masks we wear to please others and to protect ourselves. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing not only the hero but also the villain within. And it's by embracing both that we become truly human and truly powerful, for we stop wasting energy fighting ourselves. It's crucial to understand that the shadow manifests itself most intensely precisely when we're about to take a big leap in our lives. When you decide to start a new business, pursue a new relationship, or change careers, the shadow feels threatened. Your old identity, your comfort zone, is about to die, and the shadow will do everything it can to prevent this death. It will activate all your deepest fears and insecurities as a desperate defense mechanism to keep everything as it is. The process of individuation is, therefore, a direct response to the force of diabolos, the force of division. While division weakens and sabotages us, individuation strengthens and unifies us. It is the antidote to self-sabotage. It is the path to building an internal foundation so solid that no external storm can shake it. It is the construction of a center of gravity within oneself, a place of peace and power that does not depend on any external validation or circumstance to exist. Knowing this puts you in a position of immense power. Now you understand that the resistance you feel is not a signal to stop, but a sign that you are on the right path. The rise of doubt and fear is proof that you are challenging your old limitations and approaching a new level of being. But how exactly does this force attack? Knowing the enemy's tactics is the fundamental step to defeating it. And the shadow's final attack is always the most subtle and the most powerful. At the very moment before great success, when victory is almost palpable, the shadow launches its most powerful and desperate attack. It's a mental bombardment. A flood of intrusive thoughts floods your consciousness, all designed to sow doubt and fear. The voice that was once a whisper now screams, "Do I really deserve this? What if everything goes wrong at the last minute? This is too good to be true. Something bad will happen." Each thought is a poisoned arrow aimed at the heart of your confidence. It's as if your old identity, the version of you that grew accustomed to struggle, scarcity, and disappointment, is taking a last desperate breath to prevent its own death. Transformation requires a part of you to die, so a new one can be born. And no identity dies without a fight. It will use every weapon it has, and the main one is negative thoughts. It will try to convince you that the safety of the old prison is better than the uncertainty of the new freedom that awaits you. These thoughts are not reality. They are merely echoes of old programming, ghosts of past traumas, broken recordings that play over and over in your mind. The fatal mistake most people make is believing these thoughts. They identify with them, give them power, and in doing so, transform harmless ghosts into real monsters that devour their dreams. Trying to fight these thoughts mentally is a losing battle, like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The mind that creates the problem cannot be the same mind that solves it. Fighting a negative thought only gives you more energy. Telling yourself not to think about it only makes you think even more. It's a trap, a mental maze designed to keep you busy and exhausted while the opportunity of a lifetime passes you by. The solution isn't to fight, but to transcend. The way out isn't to think more, but to access a force much older and more powerful than your thinking mind. This force resides not in your head, but in the center of your chest. It is an intelligence that operates not with logic and words, but with feeling and intuition. While the mind is noisy, chaotic, and divided, this other force is silent, ordered, and unifying. It is the seat of your true wisdom, the place where your connection with the universe truly occurs. Accessing this force is the only way to silence the cry of doubt and navigate safely through the final moments before your victory. Modern science is only beginning to scratch the surface of the power contained within this force, a power that ancient sages knew and harnessed for millennia. They knew that true creation does not occur at the level of thought, but at a much deeper level, a vibrational and energetic level. They knew that to change external reality, one must first change one's internal state. And the key to this change lay not in the head, but in an organ we once considered merely a blood pump. This force is your secret weapon against the shadow's final attack. It's your compass amid the storm of doubt. It's your safe haven when the waves of fear threaten to drown you. Understanding and learning to harness the power of this force is what separates those who reach the finish line from those who give up just a step away. And what research is discovering about the hidden power of the heart will forever change the way you see yourself and your ability to create your reality. The idea that the heart is more than a blood pump isn't new, but what science has recently discovered is absolutely revolutionary. Research institutes like the HeartMath Institute in California have revealed a fact that shakes the foundations of our materialistic worldview. The human heart generates an electromagnetic field that is up to 60 times greater in amplitude and up to 5,000 times more magnetically powerful than the field generated by the brain. This isn't philosophy, it's measurable physics. Your heart is your body's most powerful energy generator. What does this mean in practice? It means that the energy of a single genuine feeling is immensely stronger and more influential than that of 1,000 repeated thoughts. That's why you can spend all day repeating positive affirmations like, "I am prosperous." But if deep down in your heart, the feeling is fear, anxiety, and scarcity, guess which energy will win? Feeling always wins. It is the primary language of the universe, the driving force behind the creation of reality. Think of your energy field as a radio station. Your thoughts are like the faint voice of the announcer, but your feelings are the powerful broadcast wave that carries that voice to the world. If your broadcast is tuned to the frequency of fear and doubt, no matter how positive the lyrics, the universe will only pick up the vibration of fear. A single moment of genuine gratitude, love, or trust can cancel out hours of negative thoughts, as it shifts the radio station to a completely different frequency. This discovery explains why the law of attraction fails so many people. They try to think positively while feeling terrible inside. They visualize wealth while feeling the pain of lack. It's an energetic contradiction. You don't attract what you think, you attract what you feel. Your heart is constantly sending a signal to the quantum field, and the universe is constantly responding to that signal, mirroring back to you the circumstances, people, and events that match your emotional output. This is the secret power the ancient masters knew. When they spoke of praying with faith or believing with all your heart, they weren't using a poetic metaphor. They were describing a precise spiritual technology. They knew that to manifest something in the physical world, one must first create it in the world of feelings. One must feel the joy of achievement before it happens. Feel gratitude for the healing before the body heals. Feel the peace of the solution before the problem resolves itself. This is your weapon against the shadow's final attack. When thoughts of doubt and fear begin to scream, don't fight them. Don't try to reason with them. Simply shift your focus from your head to your heart. Take a deep breath, place your hand on your chest, and deliberately evoke a feeling of gratitude. Think of something you're genuinely grateful for, no matter how small. Feel that gratitude expand throughout your body. Within seconds, you'll feel the energetic shift. The frequency of fear cannot coexist with the frequency of gratitude. By doing this, you're not just calming yourself. You're activating your being's most powerful energy generator and actively changing the signal you're sending to the universe. You're moving from the victim frequency to the creator frequency. You're stopping reacting to reality and starting to command it from within. And this frequency you emit isn't just a pleasant feeling. It's the master key that opens or closes the doors of abundance in your life. Abundance, success, love, and happiness aren't things you need to chase or achieve out there. They aren't limited resources you need to compete for. They are, at their core, vibrational frequencies. Like radio stations, they're already on the air, available to anyone who knows how to tune in. The big twist, the secret that only a small fraction of humanity understands, is that you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are, energetically, is the sum of your dominant feelings. People who appear to be lucky, who attract victories and opportunities without apparent effort, are no longer blessed or deserving. They have simply learned, consciously or unconsciously, to inhabit an emotional state of well-being, gratitude, and confidence most of the time. They have tuned their energy field, the powerful magnetic field of their heart, to the exact vibration of what they desire to receive. They have become a living magnet for success because they feel good even before success arrives. On the other hand, those who live in a chronic frequency of complaining, criticizing, fearing the future, and resentment for the past will continue to attract circumstances that only validate and reinforce these feelings. This is the law of resonance in action. The universe doesn't give you what you ask for. It gives you a mirror of your current vibration. If you vibrate scarcity, the universe will bring you more bills to pay and more financial problems, not as a punishment, but as a perfect response to your frequency. This is why hard work alone doesn't guarantee success. How many people do you know who work tirelessly, give their all, but never get anywhere? They're trying to swim against the current of their own frequency. They strive for wealth while feeling poor. They seek love while feeling alone and needy. It's an energetic tug of war they can't win. Victory isn't achieved through sheer effort, but rather through the elegance of vibrational attunement. Here's the game-changing secret. You no longer need to fight. Your only task, your only job, is to manage your emotional frequency. It's choosing, moment by moment, how you want to feel, regardless of external circumstances. This may sound radical, but it's the most liberating truth there is. You have the power to feel good right now, for no reason at all. And by doing so, you begin to give the universe reasons to feel even better. This means your victory has already been achieved. It already exists as a possibility, a frequency in the quantum field waiting for you to align with it. Your job is not to create victory, but to allow it to come to you, removing the vibrational barriers of resistance, your feelings of doubt, fear, and unworthiness. You stop chasing the butterfly and start tending your inner garden, and then the butterfly comes to you of its own accord. Therefore, the master key to unlocking the life you dream of isn't a complex strategy, a new course, or yet another failed attempt. The key is in your hand right now. It's your ability to change what you're feeling right now. Stop for a moment, breathe, and choose a better feeling. Choose relief. Choose gratitude. Choose peace. For it is precisely at that point, in this simple act of emotional command, that your entire reality begins to bend to your will and transform before your eyes. It is precisely here, when you understand that your emotional frequency is key, that you enter the most dangerous moment of the entire journey. Paradoxically, the moment you are closest to victory is also the most treacherous. It is at this threshold that your subconscious, your oldest and deepest programming, goes on high alert. It was designed for a single purpose, to ensure your survival. And for it, survival means repetition. It hates change, even if that change is to a life of abundance and happiness. It prefers the familiar pain of a limiting pattern to the unknown pleasure of a new reality. This primitive part of you doesn't understand your dreams or aspirations. It only understands patterns. If the pattern of your life has been struggle, scarcity, and difficulty, to your subconscious, this is safe. It's what it knows. When you begin to vibrate at a frequency of success and well-being, it interprets this as a dangerous anomaly, a deviation from the original program. And so, to protect you and force you back into the safety of your comfort zone, it activates its most powerful weapons, the primitive feelings of fear, guilt, and shame. That's why, when things start to go well, an inexplicable anxiety can arise. That's why, when you receive a compliment or an opportunity, you can feel like a fraud, as if you don't deserve it. It's not you. It's your internal security system triggering a false alarm, trying to pull you back into your old identity. Successful people aren't braver or more special. They've simply learned not to identify with these false alarms. They hear the alarm, but choose not to believe it. They've learned to master their internal frequency using an ancient transformational technique. This technique doesn't involve fighting fear or repressing guilt. That would only empower them. Instead, it involves a process of transmutation, a true emotional alchemy. It's the ability to take the dense, heavy energy of fear and consciously transform it into a light, expansive energy of confidence and power. It's understanding that feeling is not the enemy, Tara, but merely energy in motion, and that you, as the master of your own being, have the ability to direct this energy wherever you wish. You don't have to be a victim of your emotions. You can become their alchemist. This is the ultimate test of your resolve. The universe, through your own subconscious, is asking you, do you really want this? Are you willing to abandon your old story of suffering and embrace a new identity of power and victory? Your answer is not given in words, but in your ability to sustain your new frequency of well-being, even as the storm of doubts and fears rages within you. It's an emotional trial by fire. And to get through it, you need to know the secret of true alchemy, a secret that has been hidden in metaphors for millennia. Most people fail here. They feel the tug of fear and give in, returning to the cycle of repetition. They reach the river's edge, but lack the courage to build the bridge to the other side. But you are here to learn how to build that bridge. You are here to learn that fear is not a wall, but a door. And that the key to opening that door and transforming the lead of your limitation into the gold of your freedom lies in a process mastered by ancient sages, a process you can begin applying right now. The secret to not being pulled back isn't more willpower, but more wisdom. It's understanding the nature of this emotional energy and how it can be transformed. The journey to victory isn't a straight line. It has a moment of maximum turbulence just before landing. Now that you know this, you're prepared. You can anticipate this turbulence and, instead of panicking, you can smile, knowing it's just a sign that you're almost there. Now, let's unlock the secret to the alchemy of feelings. When you hear the word alchemy, you might imagine medieval figures trying to transform lead into physical gold. But this was always a metaphor, a veil to hide a much deeper and more powerful secret. True alchemy was never about metals. It was always about the transformation of human consciousness. Lead was the metaphor for our dense, heavy consciousness, full of fear, doubt, guilt, and shame. Gold was the symbol of our elevated, pure, and enlightened consciousness, vibrating with love, joy, and trust. The alchemist's work was internal. Feeling is the true raw material of transformation. Changing what you feel is changing everything. It's the act of taking the energy of a low-frequency emotion, like anxiety, and, instead of fighting it or drowning in it, consciously transmuting it into a high-frequency emotion, like peace. You can begin this alchemy right now. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Instead of focusing on the problem that worries you, bring to mind the memory of an achievement, a moment of pure joy, a hug from someone you love. Feel that warmth in your chest. By doing this, you're not just thinking positively or distracting yourself. You're performing a real, measurable act of alchemy. You're changing your body's chemistry, altering your brainwaves, and, most importantly, changing the frequency of your heart's magnetic field. You're literally transforming the lead of stress into the gold of well-being. Simple practices like connecting with nature, listening to uplifting music, or simply focusing on gratitude are alchemical practices that raise your frequency and realign your energy with victory. The mistake most people make is waiting for circumstances to change before they feel good. I'll be happy when I get the job. I'll feel peace when I pay off my debts. This is inverting the law of creation. The alchemist knows that you must first feel good for circumstances to change. Feeling is the cause. External reality is the effect. By mastering the art of choosing your feelings, you stop being a leaf in the wind, reacting to the world, and become the wind itself, directing the course of your reality. This elevated frequency, however, is delicate, especially at first. It's like a small flame that needs to be protected from strong winds. Once you elevate your emotional state through your alchemical practice, your next task is to protect this new vibration. Because, as you approach your victory, you become a beacon of light. And this light can attract not only good things but also the attention of forces that, consciously or unconsciously, may try to extinguish your flame. Protecting your frequency becomes a necessity, not a luxury. Emotional alchemy is your tool to navigate the most perilous moment of your journey. When the wave of fear from your subconscious arrives, you no longer need to drown in it. You can observe it, breathe, and, like a seasoned surfer, use the energy of the wave itself to propel you forward, transforming fear into focus, doubt into determination. You stop being the wave's victim and become its master. Each emotional challenge becomes an opportunity to practice your alchemy and strengthen your power. Therefore, the secret to victory lies not in avoiding negative feelings, but in mastering the art of transmuting them. Your life becomes your alchemical laboratory. Each day is a chance to practice transforming lead into gold. But for this transformation to be lasting, you need to create a safe environment for it. Your new, elevated frequency needs a sanctuary, a fortress. And protecting this fortress from a subtle danger that can destroy it in an instant is your next crucial step. When you're about to achieve a major victory, emotional shielding becomes your #1 priority. Think of it this way: your heart's magnetic field, now vibrating at a higher frequency, is like a perfectly tuned musical instrument. However, just being in an environment with noise and dissonance can cause your instrument to start to go out of tune. Your heart's field is magnetic and, by nature, deeply influenced by the energetic fields of the environments and people around you. Your new frequency is powerful, but vulnerable. All it takes is a disparaging word from someone close to you, 5 minutes watching a fear-filled news program, or a brief stay in an environment where complaining is the norm, for your carefully cultivated frequency to drop dramatically. You've felt it. You emerge from a meditation feeling at peace, and after a single negative conversation, you feel all that good energy drain away, replaced by anxiety and heaviness. This isn't imagination. It's a real energy transfer. You're being pulled to a lower frequency. Successful people, those who consistently manifest their victories, know this instinctively or from personal experience. They protect their feelings and energy with a rigor that may seem selfish to the uninitiated. They carefully select their companions, their environments, and, most importantly, the content they consume. They understand that maintaining a high emotional frequency is not a luxury or a whim, but a strategic necessity to sustain success and continue to attract it. They treat their energy as the most precious asset they possess because it is. Protecting your frequency means learning to say no. No to invitations that drain your energy. No to conversations that revolve around gossip and negativity. No to people who constantly invalidate your dreams and vision. It's not about being arrogant or superior, but about being a responsible guardian of your own inner state. It's like a gardener protecting their most valuable seedling from pests and weeds. You need to create an environment, both internal and external, where your new reality can flourish without being stifled. This shielding is also internal. It means not allowing your own negative thoughts to sabotage your frequency. When doubt arises, instead of engaging with it, you observe it like a cloud passing through the sky without identifying it. You return your focus to your breathing, to your heart, and reactivate feelings of gratitude and trust. You become your own mind's security guard, deciding which thoughts are allowed in and which should remain outside. It's an act of self-discipline and self-love. People trapped in cycles of failure often have their energetic boundaries wide open. They absorb the negativity of everyone around them, are affected by every piece of bad news, and allow any person or circumstance to dictate their emotional state. They are rudderless boats, at the mercy of external storms. The victor, on the other hand, is the captain of their own ship. They may not control the storm, but they control the rudder, keeping the course steady toward their destination and protecting the integrity of their vessel. This rigorous protection of your frequency is not an act of defense, but of preparation. You are keeping your energy field clear and tuned for a very specific reason. Because your feelings, your heart rate, are the key to an inner portal of unlimited power. By keeping your frequency high and stable, you are keeping this portal open, allowing the wisdom, creativity, and power of your deepest self to flow into your reality. And what lies on the other side of this portal is the true secret of manifestation. Every feeling you experience acts as a password, a vibrational key that opens a specific door into the vast and mysterious storehouse of your subconscious. This isn't just a repository of forgotten memories. It's your personal hard drive, where everything you've ever experienced, felt, and believed is stored. But it contains much more than that. It holds not only your deepest fears and traumas, but also your greatest potentials, your innate gifts, your hidden talents, and the timeless wisdom of your soul. The subconscious is a field of infinite potential. When you allow your frequency to drop into fear, doubt, or guilt, you are essentially entering the password that unlocks the files of failure, limitation, and pain. Your mind is then flooded with all the memories and evidence that confirm this state. You remember all the times you failed, all the people who hurt you, all the reasons you're not good enough. You become trapped in a negative feedback loop, where bad feelings trigger bad memories, which in turn generate more bad feelings. It's a self-imposed prison. On the other hand, when you raise your frequency and sustain feelings of confidence, joy, and gratitude, you enter a different password. You open the doors to the archives of genius, power, and success. Suddenly, brilliant ideas you've never had before pop into your mind. Creative solutions to old problems appear as if by magic. You remember your strength, your resilience, your past victories. You access gifts and abilities you never knew you possessed, bringing them from the depths of your being to the surface of your life. By learning to manage your emotional state, you become the master of your own subconscious. You stop being a passive visitor, subject to the whims of your old programs, and become the librarian, the architect, able to consciously choose which files to access. You can deliberately access the creative power that resides within you to solve any problem, overcome any challenge, and manifest any desire. The power to create worlds, which you thought belonged only to gods, has always been dormant within you. This is ancient wisdom, taught in mystery schools and by great masters of humanity. They knew that the subconscious responds not to words or willpower, but to the universal language of feeling. They developed precise techniques through rituals, chants, and meditations to generate specific emotional states that allowed them to access these deeper realms of consciousness and draw from them the power to heal, create, and transform reality. This technology of consciousness was never lost, simply forgotten by most. Your heart is the interface, the keyboard that allows you to communicate with the supercomputer of your subconscious. Each heartbeat, charged with feeling, is a command sent to this system. That's why protecting your frequency is so vital. Keeping your heart in a state of coherence and positivity ensures you're sending the right commands, those that activate your highest potential, rather than those that reinforce your past limitations. You are, literally, reprogramming yourself in real time. This understanding puts you in the driver's seat of your life. You are no longer a passenger at the mercy of unconscious programs. You are the programmer. And this wisdom, that the power to shape reality comes from within, through the portal of the heart, was personified and taught by a legendary figure of Egyptian wisdom, a master of mental alchemy whose message has traversed millennia to reach you today, as a final reminder of the power you carry. In the annals of ancient Egyptian mystical wisdom, one figure stands out as the guardian of cosmic mysteries and spiritual transformation: Thoth. Revered as the scribe of the gods, the master of magic, writing, and knowledge, Thoth was not just a deity to be worshipped, but the embodiment of divine intelligence itself. His teachings, said to have been recorded in 42 works, including the famous Emerald Tablet, held the keys to understanding the universe and the power of the human mind to shape reality. Thoth's central message, which has spanned millennia and influenced countless esoteric traditions, is strikingly aligned with what we are discovering. He taught that true magic, true creation, happens through the heart. He asserted that the spoken word, when charged with the pure vibration and intense feeling of the heart, had the power to command the elements and reorganize matter. For Thoth, thought was the blueprint, but feeling was the builder, the force that gave life to the project. Thoth represents the divine intelligence that constantly reminds us that transformation is not a brutal struggle, but an elegant unfolding of the wisdom we already possess. He is the archetype of the magician, the alchemist, who uses not brute force but the subtle knowledge of universal laws to effect change. His teachings invite us to stop fighting reality and instead learn to dance with it, using the power of our inner frequency to guide the steps of this cosmic dance toward our desires. One of the fundamental principles attributed to him is as above, so below, and as below, so above. This means that the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, human beings, are reflections of each other. The same laws that govern the creation of galaxies govern the creation of your personal life. And the main law is that of vibrational correspondence. Your inner world, your thoughts and feelings, create an energetic mold that the outer world is forced to fill. You are not in the universe is in you. The figure of Thoth, the scribe, also teaches us about the power of rewriting our own story. If you don't like the story your life is telling, you have the power to pick up the pen and start a new chapter. But this rewriting doesn't happen just with empty affirmations. It happens when you delve into the portal of your subconscious, access the old contracts and limiting beliefs that were written there, and rewrite them with the ink of a new emotional frequency, the ink of love, trust, and worthiness. The teachings of Thoth, which echo in Hermetic texts and secret traditions, reveal that victory is not something to be achieved in the future, but something to be recognized in the present. It already exists within us as a divine seed, a potential waiting for the right conditions to germinate. These conditions are not external, but internal. The condition is your frequency. By raising your vibration, you are watering this seed with the sunlight of consciousness, allowing it to sprout and grow in your physical reality. And this ancient wisdom, guarded for so long and revealed to so few, leads us to the most shocking and liberating conclusion of all. A truth so simple that the complex mind struggles to accept, but which the heart instantly recognizes as the path home. A truth that, if fully understood, ends the struggle forever and ushers in the era of conscious creation. The truth that all your efforts thus far have been based on a fundamentally flawed premise. Now, take a deep breath, for this is the most profound and transformative truth that only a small fraction of humanity ever grasps. And if you absorb it, not with your mind but with your heart, your life will never be the same. The truth is this: you have already won. The fight is over. The battle you thought you needed to fight in the outside world was never real. The victory you seek is not a destination to be reached sometime in the future. It is a state of being you can access right now. This very moment. On the energetic and spiritual plane, the plane of cause, everything you desire has already been created. The healthy, prosperous, loved, and fulfilled version of you already exists. It's not a fantasy, but a concrete vibrational reality, waiting in a corridor of the quantum field. Your journey has never been about creating this victory out of thin air, but about removing the barriers of disbelief and unworthiness within you that prevent you from perceiving and receiving what is already yours by divine right. You're not building the house. You're just searching for the key that's already in your pocket. The universe isn't testing you to see how well you can fight, how strong you can be, or how much suffering you can endure. These are ego games. The universe is testing you on only one thing: your ability to surrender. Surrender to the truth of who you already are. Surrender to the flow of life. Surrender to the fact that you are loved, supported, and guided at all times. Victory is not won by strength, but received through surrender. It's a paradox the mind doesn't understand, but the soul yearns for. Only 1% of people realize this before seeing the external manifestation. They stop fighting, stop chasing, stop worrying. Instead, they begin to celebrate the victory before it's visible. They begin to feel gratitude for the money that isn't yet in the account. They begin to feel joy for the relationship that hasn't yet appeared. They align their frequency with the reality of the victory already accomplished. And this realization, this shift from hunter to receiver, is what collapses time and accelerates the entire manifestation process. Think about it. If you knew with 100% certainty that a check for 1,000,000 reyes would arrive in the mail next week, how would you feel today? You would feel relieved, happy, at peace. You would no longer worry about the bills. You would start making plans. You would live with the certainty of victory. This is exactly the emotional state you need to cultivate now, without the need for external proof. Your faith isn't believing it will happen. It's knowing it has already happened, in the invisible. This understanding dissolves anxiety and despair. Why worry about something that's already solved? Why fight for something that's already yours? Your only task now is to clear your energy field of any vibration that contradicts the reality of your victory. It's a process of detachment from the outcome and a deep attachment to the feeling of already having the result. You become a divine actor, playing the role of your future, successful self, until the scene around you transforms to match your performance. However, there is one last key, a final matu, practical step to bring this victory that already exists in the invisible plane to your tangible experience in the physical world. Knowing that you've already won is the map. But now you need to learn how to use this map to navigate the final meters of the journey. It's the step that anchors the energy of your new reality in the here and now. A process of profound reprogramming that solidifies your new identity and makes the manifestation of your victory not only possible, but inevitable. Now that you know victory is already yours on the energetic plane, the final and decisive step is to anchor this truth in the deepest level of your being, the subconscious. This is where the final battle is truly won. It's about using the power of your heart's electromagnetic field to consciously reprogram your feelings and beliefs regarding abundance, success, and money. You need to teach your body, at a cellular level, what it feels like to already be the person you want to become. This goes beyond positive thinking. It's a vibrational embodiment. This process involves taking time each day to feel gratitude for the victory, before it even becomes visible. It's not just thinking I'm grateful, but actively generating the emotion of gratitude in your heart until it floods your entire being. Feel the joy of the achievement as if it were a real, vivid memory. How would you feel seeing your bank account with the balance you desire? How would it feel to wake up next to the person you love? Don't just imagine the scene. Feel the emotion of it now. By doing this repeatedly, you're literally reconditioning your body and your subconscious. You are breaking old neural patterns of scarcity and fear and creating new neural networks of abundance and confidence. Your body, which for years has been conditioned to produce the chemicals of stress and anxiety, begins to produce the chemicals of well-being and elevation as its default state. You become, biochemically, a new person, long before your external reality has time to change. This practice transforms you from a chaser of abundance into a source of abundance. You go from being someone who needs something from the outside world to feel complete, to someone who already feels so complete and grateful. Within that, the outside world has no choice but to mirror that fulfillment. Money, opportunities, and the right people begin to be drawn to you not because you're chasing them, but because they're a vibrational match for the person you've become. You become a magnet. This profound reprogramming is what mystics called heartfelt prayer. It's not asking God or the universe for something you don't have, which only reinforces the feeling of lack. It's giving thanks for what you've already received in the invisible. It's a radical act of faith that says to the universe, I trust so much in your power and your promise that I'm already celebrating. This frequency of faith and gratitude is the most powerful and clear signal you can send. And the universe responds to this clarity with speed and precision. Many give up on this practice because they don't see immediate results. They practice for 2 days and, since reality hasn't changed, they fall back into old patterns of doubt. This is like planting a seed and digging it every hour to see if it's growing, which only destroys the process. You need to trust. You need to water the seed with your elevated feelings every day and allow nature to take its course, knowing that growth is happening beneath the surface, in the invisible, before it bursts into the visible. And now, the decisive moment of this entire journey has arrived. You have received the map, the keys, and the instruction manual. You have understood the nature of the obstacle, the power of your heart, and the truth that victory is already yours. All the knowledge in the universe is worthless without a decision. This encounter, this message, was no accident. It has guided you to this very point, the point of final choice, where theory must become practice and knowledge must become lived experience. This encounter wasn't a coincidence. It was a call to you, standing on the threshold, where the barrier between your old reality and your new potential is about to break. You weren't guided here by more information, but to make a decision. This is your moment of choice, the turning point in your life. The choice is to abandon the victim identity, the one who struggles and doubts. This version has kept you safe in your comfort zone, but it can't take you forward. It's time to let it go and embrace the identity of someone who has already overcome. The identity of someone who trusts, allows, receives, and knows they are the creator of their own reality. It's the choice to trust the quiet power of your heart above the noise of your mind, to align yourself with the power of gratitude and trust, even if the external world tells you otherwise. It's a final decision to shift your allegiance, exchanging fear for love as your driving force and default state of being. The universe didn't bring you to the door of freedom to abandon you. It guided you so you could claim the victory that was always rightfully yours. The door is open, the handle is in your hand, Tata, but the decision to cross to the other side is entirely yours. No one can take that step for you. This choice is not a one-time event, but a daily commitment. It's the decision you make moment by moment. Do I focus on lack or on gratitude? Do I react to the old program or respond with my new awareness? Victory isn't in the future. It's here, in your next breath, in your next choice. Your new life begins now. If you've made it this far, you're no longer part of the majority. You're part of the 1% who were ready to listen. To honor your journey and declare your decision to the universe, leave the phrase, "My victory is already real," in the comments. Each comment with this affirmation creates a wave of energy that strengthens us all. If you feel this message can transform other lives and want to help this channel grow more directly, there's a contribution link in the first pinned comment. Any help is immensely important to me and allows me to continue sharing content like this. But understand that just by making it to the end, you're already helping enormously. And if you can share this video with someone who needs to hear it, your help will be even greater. And before you leave, your journey doesn't have to end here. I've put together a special video to help you take the next step, a video that will delve even deeper into what we've discussed. So don't leave just yet. Click on the video that's currently playing on your screen, and we'll meet there.